G'day everybody, hope you're having a great week. Right, wanted to have a look at Bitcoin for those of you who missed out on the free newsletter. If you want that, it's link in bio. I talked about some of the levels that were significant to me for Bitcoin in particular. I also pointed out where I'm finding opportunity at the moment. It's really straightforward, it's just where the trends are at. But I wanted to do a bit of a deep dive or deeper dive into Bitcoin itself because I know a lot of you are watching out for what Bitcoin's doing or what it might do. Now, I don't know what it might do, but I'm going to show you the levels that I'm watching. First things first, what we've got is a lower high and a lower low here. It's a daily downtrend, a lower high again here, and then a continuation to a new lower low. This candle right here was on Saturday, an interesting day to see a pump, but it was also the day that Donald Trump spoke of a deal again with Iran. And what we're finding so often at the moment with Bitcoin is that when seemingly good news comes out, it's often sold off. You saw over here the Clarity Act progress, immediately sold off the next day. Over here we've seen this Saturday pump, Sunday not much, Monday, and then we sold off a chunk of that in yesterday's trading day, closing down 1.8% after pushing a little bit higher. Now, what we've got is a bit of a scenario on our hands. We've got a lower low and we've got the potential for a lower high right here. Now, by no means is this a really attractive trend. It's not. It just isn't. But what we've actually find ourselves with is a bit of a mid position where now that we've had two candles pulling back like this could potentially set a higher low for this daily trend to come back to life. And the point at which it would come back into an uptrend is if it breaks up through this high of $78,050. Now, of course, I'd want to see a bit more of a move out of it to establish that trend and get something more significant than just a slight break of that level. But we are in one of these midpoints right now. I don't love trading within midpoints. And when I say midpoint is that we haven't got the confirmation of it. I like trading this part. Yeah, the trend's set, there's a lower high, there's a lower low, so I know I've got a trend, and then we get some tail on it. The tail's where the profit lives. I'm never trying to sell the top or buy the bottom. I'm trying to trade that chunk in the middle. What we've got right now, I'm not seeing a chunk in the middle on Bitcoin. What I'm seeing is a bit of a confused market. We've popped back up, we've come back down. There's the potential for a higher low here if it breaks up through here, but there's also equally the potential for the downside to continue if we break down through this low here. What does that tell you? Look, it tells you that the market's a little bit confused, but these are the levels that are important to me. If we break up through this high here, we'll have a re-established uptrend on the daily. The level that is of significance to me to the downside right now, if we start to trade down towards it, is this around 74,000. The reason being, it was an all-time high through here. We found resistance again. Then we saw Trump get in, or whatever it was. It was a Trump-related. I think it was him winning the presidency or something like that. And we saw Bitcoin then push on to 100 grand. The break of this level was a catalyst for that next leg up. What we saw then was a pull back to support. It found support at this level before another strong rally. We've now broken down through that, found it as resistance. Now we've broken above that and there's a bit of support. This line is still, in my view, relevant. Even though it has been broken over here, I do see it as a relevant point for me to be watching for Bitcoin. Now, and it's a big if, but I'll play out all the scenarios that are in my head at the moment. If we were to get down below 74,000, we really do have quite a fair bit of movement until we get into a region of support again, which is around 65,000. So if you're bullish Bitcoin and you want Bitcoin to move higher from here in the 4-year cycle to not play out as it often does, or as it has done pretty much in most of history for Bitcoin, then you want to see price hold above 74,000. Because if it does break 74,000, there's a fairly clear run. I'm just looking at support and resistance levels because that's the way I look at markets. Real simple. Keep it simple, right? I trade trends, I trade support and resistance. End of story. If we do break 74, we have a fair chunk, that chunk in the middle, down to about 65,000. So if you want Bitcoin to move higher, you want to see this level hold. If you want to see it move lower, then you want to see it break, of course. But it is a significant level. There's no doubt about it, than 65 below. But we're still a fair way off actually breaking that. And like I said, with this with this current day's low being a potential higher low, if Bitcoin was to move higher, we could very easily move back up into a daily uptrend. So how am I trading this? Well, I'm not. I'm not trading Bitcoin at the moment. It's messy. I don't trade messy charts. What I'm doing is I'm going through the market and I'm finding what's trending. And there's been some glorious trends. There's been some absolutely belting trends. Near right at the moment, it's in a really, really good trend. It's had a very good run, as have a lot of the AI tokens. Have a look at that. Here's the pullback, and here's that chunk in the middle I talk about. I go down and look at these timeframes and look for opportunities like this, a clean pullback. Like over here, a clean pullback. Messy pullback, but this is the sort of thing I'm looking for in the market. It's not Bitcoin, it's not Ethereum, it's near. I'm looking for where the trends exist, and I'm looking to join in with that cyclical trending. That's how I trade the markets, but those are the levels that I am watching for Bitcoin going into the midpoint of this week. I hope you have a fantastic week. Again, if you want to join the newsletter, the link's in the bio, but they're the levels for Bitcoin that I'm watching. Have a good week, and I hope you're well. Bye for now.